Steph Curry, the Golden State Warriors superstar, has left an unforgettable mark on the sport of basketball. His combination of incredible shooting accuracy, exceptional ball handling skills, and sheer love for the game have made him a fan favorite and a dominant force on the court. Today, we'll take a look at the 8 most iconic Steph Curry moments and examine what made each moment so special. 2021 was supposed to be the return of the Golden State Warriors. Both of the Splash brothers were scheduled to return from their one-year hiatus due to injuries, but unfortunately, Klay Thompson suffered another setback right before the start of the season, leaving Steph Curry as the only flamethrower on the floor. The Warriors that season were a 500 team until the last 6 games of the season, where Steph Curry willed them to 6 consecutive wins, which ultimately propelled them to the 8th seed in the Western Conference. That year, however, was also the first time the play-in tournament was introduced to the NBA, so in order to actually advance into the playoffs, the Warriors had to win one of the 2 games. The first game against the Lakers was close, but unfortunately for the Warriors, LeBron hit a clutch 3 to seal the deal. The second game was against the Memphis Grizzlies. That game was also a thriller and went to overtime, but unfortunately for the Warriors, Ja Morant took over and made clutch basket after clutch basket and ultimately eliminated the Warriors from the 2021 playoffs. In Steph Curry's last post-game interview for that season, however, he sent a message to the rest of the NBA, and those words turned out to be the most iconic words he's ever said.
Don't want to see us next year. Don't want to see us next year.
Don't want to see us next year.
I'll never forget the moment he said that, because those words were bold, they were cold, and most importantly, he actually lived up to it the following season. Anyway, I didn't know which phrase is more memorable or iconic, that phrase or this next one. You see, earlier that year, in late December of 2020, the Warriors had their 3rd game of the season against the Chicago Bulls. This was a game the Warriors had to win because they started off the season with 2 massive L's. The first was at the hands of Kevin Durant and the Nets, whom they lost to by 26 points. Then the second was by Giannis and the Bucks, whom they lost to by 39 points. At this point, Steph Curry was irate and felt compelled to get a win. Well, as the 3rd quarter was coming to an end, the Warriors still found themselves down by 7, but Curry wasn't done fighting yet. He hoisted a 3 with 2 defenders on him, hit nothing but net, and although that was a spectacular shot, it was the commentator who made that moment iconic.
Look at Curry. So inspirational, man. So inspirational, man.
So inspirational, man.
This term was first coined by the popular YouTuber Flight, but it became more iconic on that night. And ever since then, it's become a meme for Warriors fans throughout the world. Heck, look at this. 2 years later in 2023, people are still using that. Anyway, next up we have the ultimate practice video ever shown online publicly. I'm talking about the 105 consecutive 3-point shots. You know, making 105 consecutive free throws is already incredibly difficult, but one day after a Warriors practice, Steph decided to raise the bar and made 105 consecutive threes. Sheesh, guys, talk about insane. I know it was just in practice and not in an actual game setting, but that moment captured the attention of the entire basketball world and became iconic. ESPN even had a segment on it, and I'm sure every NBA player has watched that video at least twice. And if you ask LeBron how many times he watched it, he'd probably say,
not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, not 7.
Anyway, moving on here. On December 14th of 2021, something special happened at Madison Square Garden. A basketball game was stopped in the 1st quarter. Here's what led to it. Draymond threw the ball to Wiggins in the post, who then threw it out to Curry, who then sank a 3-point shot that eclipsed Ray Allen's record of 2,973 made threes. That shot became absolutely iconic because it was the final piece of the puzzle needed for Steph Curry to solidify himself as the undisputed best shooter in NBA history. It could have been just a little more iconic, however, if it was Draymond that got the assist. But anyway, just like LeBron breaking the all-time scoring record, Steph Curry, when it's all said and done, is going to set the bar so high that nobody is probably going to touch that record for decades. I'm talking 20, 30 years. And speaking of 20-30 years, sometimes watching an All-Star game feels like 20 or 30 years because it's so incredibly boring. For some reason though, I still get excited about All-Star Weekend every single year, and I'm glad that in 2022 I actually tuned in because that was the most iconic display of shooting ever. I know it was just an All-Star game where defense is downright atrocious, but Steph Curry made 16 threes that game, and it wasn't just the fact that he was making threes, it was how he was making them. I mean, one-legged threes, logo threes without looking. Like I said, it was the most incredible display of shooting I've ever witnessed in 20 years of following the NBA. Yes, I know, Klay Thompson holds the actual record of 14 trays in an actual game, but still, Steph was the All-Star Game in 2022, and because of him, that game became absolutely iconic. Anyway, I'm going to talk about the 2022 NBA playoffs now because what Steph Curry did started a wildfire that spread throughout the entire world. I ain't talking about winning the ring, I'm talking about his iconic night-night celebration, which he brought out after eliminating the Nuggets in the first round, and here's how it was first introduced to the world. Up 3-1 and up 97-94 with about 30 seconds left to go in the fourth quarter, Steph had the ball in his hands. Normally the Warriors play great team basketball, but in this play, Curry wanted to put the Nuggets to sleep by himself. He dribbled around the court, got double-teamed, but still got by the defenders like it was a cone drill. Then, as he finally made his way towards the basket, he went for a left-handed layup, and then it happened. Night-night. That took the world by storm. It made headlines all around the world and was everything and the only thing people were talking about. The next time he did it was against the dynasty of the Memphis Grizzlies in Game 6 of the second round. Up 13 with a little under 2 to go in the fourth, Steph jabbed right to get his defender going the wrong way, and then he did a step back going left and dropped a dagger which ended any hope of the Grizzlies making a comeback. Then of course he did it again, the iconic night-night. Since then, the trend has been going around all over the world. I mean, it's been going on in the WNBA, it's been going on in Major League Baseball, it's been going on in the NFL. But heck, I think it's the kids who've been really taking this to the next level. Anyway, next up we'll go over Steph Curry's most iconic game. Honestly, this dude has put up so many iconic game moments. That shot he had against Matthew Dellavedova in the 2015 NBA Finals, that incredible half-court game winner against the OKC Thunder, that between the legs, behind the back, step-back three he had against the Clippers. I could make a 10, 20, 30-minute video based on his most iconic games, but if I had to pinpoint it all down to one, I'd say it was Game 4 of the 2022 NBA Finals. Down 2-1, the Warriors had to win this game, otherwise they'd be in a 3-1 deficit, and if that happened, their season was likely going to be over. Well, against one of the best defenses the modern NBA has ever seen, Curry absolutely unleashed himself, carried the Warriors on his back, and made incredible shot after incredible shot after incredible shot. There was nothing nobody could do to stop number 30 that night. I mean, he was Batman and Robin at the same time. The importance of that pivotal game, his ability to sustain greatness all throughout 48 minutes, including the clutch moments, and his 43-point, 10-rebound performance on elite shooting efficiencies, ends any and every debate about what's his greatest game. Game 4 of the 2022 NBA Finals as of today is Steph Curry's most iconic game ever. Then following that, in Game 6 of the 2022 NBA Finals, Steph Curry did it again and created another iconic moment that will have its place in the NBA history books. Here's what I'm talking about. In that third quarter, after catching a bounce pass from Draymond in transition, he was double-teamed with the 2022 Defensive Player of the Year in front of him and one of the best shot blockers of the year. But still, without even hesitating, he pulled up for a 35-foot bomb that hit nothing but net. The Celtics called a timeout after that, and as Steph Curry was walking back down the court, he did one of the most iconic final celebrations in NBA history by pointing to his ring finger, signaling his 4th championship. I can't imagine what Celtics fans were feeling when they saw that because, sheesh, that was cold, that was bold, and that was without a doubt one of the most iconic moments of one of the greatest players to ever step on an NBA court.